Go for it.
Are we going?
Yeah, we're live.
We need an intro screen. Hi everybody. Hi Seeing Scarlet fans, listeners. Welcome in. It's us. It's Sibby. It's Shelby, and we have so much to catch up on. So much excitement. So many different things. Shelby, how you feeling?
I'm good. We have a lot of good in this episode. The news just broke on Macy Blackburn that everyone kind of saw on Sunday. So we'll touch on that, but we'll keep the vibes high as always. We love you, Macy. We love you so much, and the team and everything going on with Texas Tech sports this year. So we'll get into that. Don't worry. I know that's just coming out on Twitter and people are tagging us and asking us questions. But this live was scheduled for right now. So we're going to do what we do and go through the game. Lean heavy on soccer at the beginning of this because they deserve it. They are now up to number 6 in the nation. Fun stat. They're only behind 5 teams in front of them are the 5 teams that have won 10 of the last 12 national championships, which is wild. We're just, just what Tom Stone has done with this program since he's been here at Texas Tech is really impressive. And if you're just joining the train now, he's been doing this for years, y'all. This does tie the school high as far as a ranking, and they're obviously doing big things this year, and they're back at it. But yeah, this is nothing new in a way for this program, but it's nice to see them back up there where they belong.
Yeah, no kidding. Totally impressive with all that they've had, and yeah, for those who don't know, yeah, Macy with the injury, and like we'll talk about in a minute. But Shelby, we've been talking about this, and we've been talking about this topic for, this whole podcast, this whole start of this journey in today's World Mental Health Day, and I wanted to talk about how many times that we've had our players interview with us and they tell us how important like their mental health experience is and how important and crucial that is to their success. And it's just like yes, this makes sense. And so with this day, I think what's really cool about what we do, you and me, Shelby, and with this, and I think with the people that we've been able to go on this journey with soccer, with volleyball, with football, all of this is like showing how you can be supportive on the internet and like on any social media, and how promoting that positivity is so crucial to them, and it's a part that we can play. So I don't know, I wanted to bring that up, and I think that's going to be such a huge topic as we get more into with the news about Macy Blackburn with soccer. But yeah, to the Red Raiders everywhere, like we got to support our own. That's who we are. That's what we do. And that's such a way to do it, is just to continue to be positive and supporting them and through their journey, because it's such a wild ride for each one of them. I noticed that in every interview is like, wow, your story is incredible. Like, how are you here? This is so impressive. And then we just say that week after week after week. So it's just, it's so impressive.
Yeah, no, what athletes, this is mental health day for everyone, not just athletes, but obviously this is a sports podcast. So from that perspective, what they go through on a day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year basis, if you don't acknowledge that, whether you've gone through it yourself or you've seen someone go through it or whatever it is, you need to open your eyes to it if you're not aware of it. They just have crazy schedules, and really to then add the social media aspect like you talked about, like we definitely do our best to keep things positive on social media for that reason. Like they deserve people to be shouting out their athletic like prowess and their moments and all that stuff. They don't need to get on there and see people like that don't even know what they're talking about nitpicking their play. So to each their own on how they want to fan, but I've never understood that. So definitely on this day, let's try to be nicer. Let's try not to be jerks online, guys. Let's be better to them and respect what they do for this university as both people and athletes.
No kidding. Yeah. And that leads us into where it's going to be so important with Macy Blackburn. Shelby, take it away. Take it away. I'm going to say
my first thing would obviously be everyone just go read her post. That tells you everything about her. Before she even kind of made it public, my thoughts were the same. Like I know she's really big on her faith, and so as someone who myself is, I was like, okay, that gave me comfort, to be going through this in back-to-back years. Really, I know she knows that the game doesn't define her. It doesn't. She's a great human being, and she's going to be good. And it just tells me to do this 2 years in a row, like something really special is coming for Macy
Yes.
Blackburn in the future. This was
Yeah.
a special year for her already, but I can't even imagine what's in the
Truly.
cards for her in the future if she's going through this again. You know what I mean? So,
Oh yeah.
Macy, if you happen to be listening to this, I don't know why you would be, but much love our way, support, and we hope everyone's surrounding you with all the love you need, and you got this. And we know your teammates are, and we know you'll still be a part of this team in a huge way. The way you see the game and all that, you'll still be there supporting them along every step of the way because there's still a long season ahead, and she's helped them get there for sure.
Yeah, totally inspirational too to see her comeback season of what she's had so far, and she's brilliant every single game. Her name is consistently in the box score. You see her everywhere, and so it's comeback season. You know, day one, or day whatever it is, it's comeback season again for Macy Blackburn. And if we know anything, we know she can do it. She's proven already that she can do it, and there's just no quit in her and what she wants to do. So totally behind you, Macy. I'm so stoked to see, comeback season 2.0.
Yeah, no, she's big things ahead for her, no doubt. You hate it. This is sports. When that happened Sunday, I was just, sports suck sometimes, you know, it really does. Yeah. But to move forward to the questions we're already getting on social media is, does this mean the season's over? No, Macy is a brilliant player. Never going to say that she isn't. Never going to say she isn't a huge part of this team. And never going to say you can replace a player like Macy Blackburn 1-for-1. You can't. Totally. But this team is very deep, and this team has a lot of talented players who do their own thing and play a little bit of a different style and are exceptional in that style. And this just gives them a chance to step into that role themselves. That's been Macy's role, right? So no one else could take it. Now someone else has a chance to step in there, and I'm sure you have some players in mind, but immediately I know the first one we both agree on is obviously Elise Anderson's going to get some more run. Totally. I'm not a coach. I don't know who's going to start in place of Macy. My guess would be her because she's been coming off the bench, and we've said it in multiple episodes. We say it all the time, and during games, at times, Elise Anderson has looked like the best player on the field in those spurts because she comes in fresh. Yep. And she's doing those crazy runs that we'll talk about when we break down these games. She was the one that got the assist on the pivotal first goal in the BYU game to turn the tide and then get us the momentum. She almost had another one in the TCU game. It seems like she always comes into the game and does exactly what we need. We're always sitting there texting like, it feels like we need Elise in the game. We feel like we need Elise in the game.
And then
we're about to get a lot. We're about to get a lot of Elise in the game. I would assume. Would be the first one that I would. The natural one to go in there. And then the question is some others that can step up for sure. And I don't know if you have any others, but she's obviously the big one off the top.
Oh yeah. I mean, Elise totally, and you nailed all those points. And we've seen her do it, and that makes total sense. We've seen these two freshmen, Story Sexton, Chloe Soto, who've really stepped up in the last few matches. They've had a lot more minutes. They've had some shots, like they've really stepped up, and even Tom was talking about it in one of their conferences about how their match against, I think it was BYU, that was like one of their best that they've ever had so far with their career. So seeing them step up, it could make sense. Sam Courtright in some equation. I know.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
No, I just think, I don't know. I'm not a coach of soccer, obviously, so that's up to them. But it just seems like, there's a lot of talk around Sam when she was recruited that she would be kind of the distributor on this team and stuff as she growed in the program. And I mean, maybe that just means she's becomes it now, because like the biggest piece to Macy is she was the person that did most of the services if she's in the game, right? So the question is, who's going to do that? I don't know. Yep. Maybe it's Sam. Maybe it's Elise. I don't know who has that job now, but Sam has that special ability to her. I think she has the it factor to her. Yeah. She showed that at BYU, which we'll get into, that she could turn it up another notch and maybe step in. But I like what you said about Chloe and Story as freshmen. They both have done well. And there's a lot of other people on this team that play huge minutes that now can just have bigger roles. So I trust in this team to still go win the Big 12, right? This is not a end of the season thing in my book. It just changes the structure and the way they go about it, because they're wildly skilled. But another thing about this team that we were going to talk about anyway in this episode, but now it makes even more sense to me. I talk about it all the time, but the mental game, this team, and I mean this with no hyperbole, no exaggeration, no bias.
Tell us.
I've been around college athletes, professional teams, and college teams. This team, from the mental side, is one of the strongest I've ever seen. I can't even say been around because I'm not in this team's locker room and all that.
Sure.
But I've been in other team locker rooms that were elite, that have won championships at the college and the pro level. Just for the things I've done on the sports psychology side as a media member, way back when I used to play sports. Like, I've been in these different areas, and this team is so impressive in this area. And I text all the time, every game. I feel like I'm like, another mental box just got checked by this team. And you just don't see this stuff. And I don't even think you need to have a background in it. But if you just open your eyes and watch games in a fashion like this, and I'll pick up on things. I pick up on how Hannah Anderson is one of, hands down, the best leaders I've ever seen, and especially at the college level. I'm so impressed with her. I was impressed with her last year as a co-captain, but now she's really stepped into the role by herself. And then her interview, we kind of saw it, but just watch her. And I would actually hope, again, don't know if they're watching, that other programs, other athletes on campus, there's so much talent on campus.
Oh, yeah.
Watch how this team interacts with each other. Watch how Hannah interacts with the players. Watch how the players interact with her. Same thing with Madison White, who's not the captain, but she's clearly a leader on this team. Their leadership style is so impressive to me. And I notice it in how she talks in the huddles. I'll be like, wow, that was an impressive moment. The way that she talks to the players, and the way she plays. It's not just dead ball moments. It's like in the way she plays. The leadership and the mental ability of this team has allowed them to win all these games. Yes, they're skilled. Don't get me wrong. But if you're at a Division I school, Big 12 school, soccer, you're going to be a good player. What takes you to the next level, especially in college, is having elite mental game and no bias, no hyperbole, elite mental game on this team and leadership. And so that we were going to talk about that. This was in the outline before the Macy news came out, before Sunday's game even happened, right? We're going to talk about that. And it gives you even more, a little bit more confidence that this team, of any team, can be like, okay, bet, what's next?
Yeah.
That sucks. We're sad. Mostly we're just sad for Macy. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Because we're going to keep going and we're going to keep doing big things. We're sad that she can't be a part of it on the field, but she'll still be a part of it with us and in the locker room and on the sidelines. But I believe in this team's mental game so much that it still gives me confidence that they'll go win the Big 12. They'll go have a deep postseason run. So I'm really impressed, but I just encourage everyone to watch that kind of stuff during games. And we have a couple of clips in this thing that we'll get into even to show it, but the way they talk to each other, communication styles, the way they talk to the media, the way they even interact on social media, it's all a part of that mental game. And I really hope that other programs on campus tap into it, because to me, that is why this team has been so successful this year. Talented, obviously. They practice, they put the work in. Their mental game is insane, and you saw that this week against at BYU and then home against TCU, which is one of the hardest turnarounds definitely in the conference, but in the country this week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you see this team, like you said, interacting with each other and hyping each other up. And we see that with soccer. We see that with the women's basketball team. We see that in so many different teams on this campus. And I think soccer is just having such a special season. And like we talk about them every single week, and we aren't kidding. Like, what the magic that you're talking about, Shelby, is so true. And I love seeing it when I see when they're playing and they're trusting each other. There are so many, like the clips that you talked about, and they have confidence in themselves, but they also have confidence in each other and to be able to trust, which is such a scary thing. And the way that they do it is so poetic. It works so well. And that's why we're the leader in the Big 12. That's why we're undefeated. And yeah, I don't think you're wrong at all. I think that is such a huge component of it. And yeah, all part of the mental game in a variety of ways. And so I can't wait to talk about it more.
I could talk about
clips, because
it's
such a perfect segue to the clips that we have too. Like, yeah, this is not the last time that we're going to talk about it. So that's a good point all around. So what to next?
So we moved into BYU Thursday. It feels like a lifetime ago, y'all, but
truly,
this team rolls into BYU, number 7 at the time. They are now number 6, but they were number 7 at the time, to face number 7 BYU, which was a joke, but by the end of the game, it made a lot of sense, right? They end up drawing with number 7. The battle of number 7's instant draw feels fitting. We'll talk about it. There's a lot of times in that game where you feel like we could have won. We should have won. You know what I mean? You get ahead 2-1 at one point. You feel like you should have won, but that's soccer. And I'm sure BYU's saying the same thing. We had so many chances. We should have won. But I think as we'll get into this, we'll let Sydney kind of give her thoughts, and then we'll show some clips. But you'll see it in these clips. The mental strength, the grit of our back line. BYU is going to say all day we had 18 shots on goal and 18 shots and we only got 2. Much less they lived in our 18 for parts of that game, especially early. Didn't even score until they got a corner, couldn't do it and run a play. Yep. That's because our back line is so mentally tough and strong and their communication is so good.
I don't even think I have anything else to add. Just like roll the clips. But yeah, so if y'all, are you going to hit it? Are you? Nope.
I got this one. This first one, we don't talk about her a lot because she's just like a quiet assassin back there, but I need you to watch this succession of clips from Cassie Taylor. This is not edited together. This is one full clip of 2 back-to-back ridiculous tackles 10 minutes into this game. And the 10 minutes prior to this were the same thing from Hannah, Cassie, Kylie, Macy. They're just fighting their little butts off, and Madison making saves.
I can't wait
to keep them out of it because BYU was coming out hot.
The play ahead, Mozingo. Mozingo. Fire.
He's in the middle of the field here.
Fire, right-footed shot. On the floor, cleared by the Red Raiders, reset by BYU.
Well, let me just do it again.
And a block.
Oh, the whole crowd. Oh,
Red Raiders.
Wow.
Yeah, and BYU's not used to that, right? They're like, you get 2
Yeah,
shots.
they usually get those.
Like, no big deal. Slide over, I won't foul. BYU girls annoyed at life. Oh, blocks her again. That girl just getting up off the. I think that's Mozinga too, 2-time All-American, national champion with UCLA. Casually, she's a stud, and Cassie handled it just so calmly, and she's done that in a lot of places all season. And shout out to her because I think we give a lot of, obviously Hannah Anderson deserves the hype, Madison deserves it. Cassie's that junior there that people, you talk about Macy, Kylie, Hannah, Madison. A lot of people don't say Cassie Taylor. She's right there on that back line, all of them. And if you watch her, she had some crazy, I think I called it a holy bejesus tackle against Texas. She had some of those in this game. And these were just 2. I could have sat there and done a whole highlight reel of Cassie Taylor from this BYU game. Easy.
She truly, I mean, we've talked about her so much when we're texting each other during these matches of just how much she has grown in this season. And that only gets better once we start talking about TCU. But yeah, we see an impressive defensive feat here too. And this, I think you were talking about, Shelby, of some of that mental game of it. And I know you wanted to talk about this clip.
Are you talking about the Hannah clip?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one to me is what I'm talking about when we get into it. I'll put it on here. This clip to me says a lot about the communication and trust of this, because I even sent it to Xavier. I was like, this was on purpose, right? Because to me, it's on purpose. And you can even see a moment where they communicate maybe non-verbally. And this happens another time later. I couldn't find the clip where people just don't do this. Just watch. Like Hannah is going to come up from behind and tip that intentionally over
toward Madison. Again plays into touch.
The BYU girl, I couldn't get the clip because they didn't show the replay here. I guess it was later in the game. I didn't have time.
Oh, gosh.
But they show a replay of this moment later in the game, when they finally start talking about how good our back line is. And they're like, yeah, they've been under pressure all night, but this is just what they do. They changed the tune real fast on that. And they showed that clip from another angle later. And this girl over here, but baffled that Hannah did this. Her eyes got so... Like,
who had that reaction?
One of those. Like,
who?
Did she really she gave one of those. And then Hannah does the same thing later. And so to me, listen, I'm giving her credit that that's on purpose. That looks on purpose. That feels on purpose. It seems like a brilliantly. It's people do this in soccer. I get it.
But
at the college level, in that kind of moment, that's the stuff I'm talking about. The mental strength and the trust in your teammates to be like, well, if I don't tip this to or if I don't tip this to Madison's gonna have to make a save. So why don't I just tip it to her and let her make an easier save from me? And I just thought this was one of those brilliant moments that illustrated that so much. And there, again, this happened twice. I think it was Hannah and Madison a little bit later. It was crazy. The first 15, 20 minutes of this game, BYU had a lot of time in our 18s. And we just fought them off. And they finally got that goal on a corner.
Yeah.
which even when I rewatched that goal, I'm like, man, we could have stopped that too. But it's BYU; they're good at what they do. So it took them to get a corner to get one on you.
I know. Yeah. That was a tough one. And that was like the first of many first that we've had in terms of like adversity. That was the first time we were like trailing at a certain point in time that we were, I think the first or whatever the other records that they were talking about breaking at that game. And so that was tough to like consistently hear by the commentators. But once it was all done with, it was like, okay, great. We can move forward now. Like, let's get down to business. And I know that they weren't thinking about that at that time, but that was just something that was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this to stop being a thing.
Yeah.
But
Amen.
our first goal from Sam Courtwright, really late in the first half. You'll see a beautiful assist from Elise Anderson, who we talked about earlier.
Anderson into the 18, cross to the top of the 6, a swing.
Oh, I love this. Like you can see how Giselle is getting in position too. She's like, take your pick, keep, like who's going to get there fastest. You can see Sam make that cut and turn it up a notch just to blast that, so hard to where it ricocheted off those players into the back of the net. So like Giselle's right there too.
Yeah, she was ready to do it too. Sam's like, nah, I got you.
Yeah.
What a bazooka of a shot. Like, It definitely hits off that girl, but as the broadcaster said, if we had the volume on, she's like, I think that would have gone in anyway, because it just would have been to the backside step. But that girl got her leg on it, and it did not matter. It just came off even faster. That's when you know it's hit well, is when it bounces off someone and just spins the opposite direction just as fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Elise on this. She had just come in the game. Also came into the game at that same sub point was Story Sexton, who will rewind it. She's the one that has the ball right here. At the top and gets it over to Elise. Story had a great game. We have a clip of her later in this game. She could be one that steps up in the absence of Macy for sure. She's a freshman and a big freshman. It's literally a 6-foot freshman out there. And she just keeps getting more minutes and more playing time. And she hasn't broke through on a goal yet, but she had some really nice looking balls in this one that could have been assist. We'll show the one at the end of the game that she almost found the game winner. Kind of went under the radar, but it just got blocked. But it could have been a winner as well.
Yeah. So this being such a huge goal for Texas Tech, this is a crowd of over 5,000 people, y'all. Like
absurd.
this is what we want to have, the atmosphere and the energy that we want to have.
We're gonna have.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna make it.
And so that was so huge for Sam to step up and for Elise to continue what she's doing. And then, for Story to have such a great, that whole game for her was really great. Like we talked about earlier. So just to see a lot of different combinations of what works best for us. And unfortunately for all the other teams, every combination works for us. So
that will happen. It just feels like every time they put someone else in, you're like, oh, okay, well, they're good too. That's good to know. Next? And they just don't get as much playing time because we're so deep and we're about to need to see that depth come into play. So I hope they can grow up fast for sure. Elise is a 5th-year senior, right? Or a senior. So that's the other thing you don't worry about Elise Anderson, right? She's older, right?
I don't know.
Isn't she a senior? Maybe I'm misspeaking, but I thought they talk about her as if she's a senior, but maybe she's just a leader on the team, even as a younger one. But Story's obviously a freshman. Sam, Chloe has had her moment.
She's a senior.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Good job.
So you don't worry about her being ready for the moment. Like she's ready for the moment, Elise Anderson, and she's about to have her moment. So we'll find out who takes her spot. Is that energy booster off the game changer off the bench, but we have plenty. So I'm actually quite excited for Elise to get more run for her sake. So it's going to be cool because she was great in that moment again, as well as in TCU. She had some moments too.
Yeah, she did. And that left us to our next goal too that we have coming up with Alex Kerr. Doing what Alex Kerr does.
Into the 18. Kerr gets deep, and Kerr rolls it into the back of the net for the 2-1 lead. Alex Kerr.
Like talking about mental game.
It's just
her of all is the chillest person I've seen in a while. In the big moments.
I know.
She's unconcerned. So you get Alex Kerr 1-on-1. That thing's going in 9 times out of 10. If it doesn't go in, I am stunned. Physically stunned. That someone stopped it.
I am so glad that you said that because I was like, I don't even want to say that she's like steady or like consistent because that doesn't give it justice. Like the way that, and she has a goal against TCU that we'll talk about, but the way that you just know you have that Alex Kerr trust, it is the best guarantee in this country. And you just know when she has the ball, she's going to take care of business.
No
She's
eraser needed.
No eraser. Put it in pen, Sharpie on a whiteboard. Done deal. And this was so great too. And we'll get into the second look of this because the person that started
gets me every time. Sorry, continue.
I know the person that started this is Ashley Williams, and Ashley being such a huge person in this. A different angle for y'all.
We'll start back over. Watch Ashley. This pass is ridiculous.
Yes. Oh, and then wait, y'all didn't even see this on the first clip, but
I saw it live. Don't take away. But it looks much better there. Like cold-blooded, Alex. You are a cold-blooded, chill human being. Like Mrs. Freeze, remake the movie. You know what I mean? She probably don't even know that movie. It's a roller coaster at Texas, whatever it's called. So Six Flags. Make one for her. She's so much fun to watch, and blessed that we got her here. Maybe we should tell this story now. Thank goodness. I think God every day that Tom Stone played college soccer with Alex Kerr's dad.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't really told that story, but we found that tidbit out, and that I'm not saying that's why she came to Texas Tech, but it's got to help, you know. So thank you for both going to Duke and playing soccer together, so that Alex Kerr could come to Texas Tech.
Thanks, Alex.
Wow, has she been helpful in this? But yeah, definitely, you nailed it with Ashley. Don't everyone doesn't. I don't know if it shows it on the first clip as well. Yeah, on the full you can. Let's see. No, she's already given it to her there, but you can see in this clip. We'll just leave it paused. That space behind Alex in that clip, I don't know, like you can kind of see it in this one. It's the way she turns and just kicks it over there, trusting that Alex is going to get there. That comes back to the trust of this team.
It is
and Alex ran onto it. It was such a really important moment. And yeah, Ashley hasn't scored. It hasn't even gotten a lot of shots in the last few games because teams are keying in on her. But she's still doing a really good job, especially at the midfield, at like just holding people up like she did on that play and starting attacks for us. So her time will come again when they have to start focusing on other people, but she's still contributing, and that was a really beautiful, important. That play doesn't happen if that does not happen first.
Yeah, and we have trusted Alex to make those plays before on her own, and you know, for such a good chunk of this, she does take it on her own. And
absurd to run that far on your own.
Yeah, it's
against three people. Really, they were just spread out, like just in case they needed to be there, and she's just runs past all of them. Yeah. I begged the Texas Tech soccer account to post her top speed data. We know it exists. Maybe she doesn't wear the thing, but we have been given, people have sent us those numbers on other players on the team. So we know it exists somehow. The team knows their top speeds. Yeah. Maybe she doesn't wear the monitor though. I'll give them credit, but I need them to release that because she's an athlete. Let the people know she was moving.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very, very impressive as usual. And then, yeah, you're right. Like without Ashley Williams, doing what she's been doing so well and creating those opportunities, making those really difficult passes, we wouldn't have been in that position. So huge kudos to her too. And this is, I think do we have a clip from Madison
No, we have a couple more from this game. So obviously after this, we're all celebrating. This is the moment where we don't have the clip because we didn't want to make y'all live through it again. But BYU scores like 4 minutes later. Yeah. On a goal that we normally would clear, but credit to them, it was a good cross, and they got it after we couldn't clean it up. If we don't give up that goal, I truly 1000% believe we win 3-1 because we had them on the ropes from the end of that first half through this moment in the second half. Once they got that second goal, they got their confidence back, and it was just a battle to end the game. Speaking of which, we had this game-winning save from old Madison.
67th minute of play.
The GOAT for a reason.
Jorgensen.
Why are you so good? And why do you have to graduate?
Why are you so good?
Comes back up the pitch.
Look at this.
Mozingo's got
it's a great build-up by BYU as
always. Finds the Walbrook. Walbrook plays top of the 6. Oh, and a save!
Today.
Aaron
Not today.
Like the replays are so impressive. The reaction time, because she's starting to move over this way, because then they flick it across, and Erin Bailey leads their team in goals.
Sorry,
and then they just take the girl out. But
I was like, maybe we have a chance to win. Like I'm not watching a replay. Oh my gosh, that reach.
Just the reaction time. The reach is impressive, but the reaction time is amazing on that for sure.
That last frame, that last view is just such a. I mean, that's Madison White. Like when we talk about being able to trust players, Madison White. Anytime the ball is anywhere near her, any shots on goal, whatever, I have a sense of peace. I'm like, I think I'm chilling. I know Madison's working, but I feel pretty chill.
We're good.
And so, this is such a great showcase of like, no matter what, she's going to be able to make those big plays, those huge saves in crucial times. And you can,
and to keep that
yes, let's go.
It is one thing to get your hands on that, but it would have been easy to let your momentum take your hands across the goal line anyway. And they put that kind of looked like that. I was so clean. It looked like a goalkeeper drill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they're taught to grab it and then curve in so that they don't let it come down. Like you can tell she's put in a lot of hours doing that stuff. So I thought that was the save of the season until Sunday, which we'll get to that save in a minute. She had herself she always has herself a game, but she had herself a weekend. By God, Madison, we love you.
So busy. You're so busy.
She was real busy in this BYU game, and you talked about it, like at the beginning of this game. I'm like, I need to breathe. Like I'm sure they thought the same thing. There's chance. BYU came out wanting to, like they've been scored on early in their home games, and their whole thing was like, we're just selling out to score, and they just could not do it. And they were starting to get frustrated till that corner, and they found a way through. But they just really against a lot of teams it wasn't been 2-3-0 at half. So I mean, we might have gotten our goal still, but that back line is so impressive.
Truly.
But the only other one I have from this game is we talked about Story Sexton earlier. This is just another brilliant play. Great pass up from Macy. Story runs it down. It shows her long stride, and then watch her just go through this girl's leg.
Yes, I was so hyped. I was so hyped. I was
like, gets this over, and she had a little. I think it's Kazarski.
A swing of the block.
At the top, I think it's Kazarski takes a swing and
I
can't tell.
If that girl's not there, that's gonna be a good save. Like she's swinging to shoot, and the girl blocks it.
It is a perfect pass.
The ball loose.
It was another close moment there.
Dude, I remember watching that, and I was like, oh, I love getting to see Story playing in this really huge, important game. And I remember when she did what she did, and I lost it. And I was like, why aren't people yelling? And I was like, oh yeah, there's 5,000 people at BYU.
Yeah.
Or at this point, I was like, do it to him, Story, do it. And
do it.
And I was like, oh,
that's a freshman,
myself.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Her and Sam Courtwright are gonna break records together at Texas Tech. They're just gonna burn the record book apart.
Fire advisory
the next 3 years. And now Macy will be back too next year. When Macy's out there crossing to someone with Story's height,
stop it.
It's game over. The future is so bright for this program. We
Oh.
ain't done yet this year, y'all.
Oh,
We're not
gosh.
done. And they weren't done. Do you have any other thoughts on BYU?
No, I mean that I think it was a great game by Madison White. She had 4 saves that game, tying her season high in saves. And she was having to make some really big adjustments and just adapting to the game and the environment. And she did a great job. So shout out to her. Yeah. Defense was amazing.
The only other thing I have from this game is another mental check. They overcame the whole "we've never trailed yet this season."
Oh yeah, I know.
Jazz, which is impressive, but it's always like every game we played, the announcers are like, what's going to happen when Texas Tech gets down? BYU was like, Texas Tech has to play from the lead. They don't know how to not play from the lead. We just need to get the first goal and they'll fall apart is literally what they were saying. And that's what BYU was hoping, and we did not. We came back and got that goal and then got another and went up 2-1. So mental check. That's what I'm saying about this team. They don't care. What's next?
Yeah, I think with the before we move into TCU, this quote from Tom at the end of this game, listen, and then Shelby, I think you already know, but this is such a perfect.
I didn't hear his quotes after this game, so hit him with me.
I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe this quote was from BYU. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, so I'm gonna save it until a better time. Cliffhanger for the audience. But let's
Oh,
move into
okay.
TCU. What do you say?
Yeah, let's move on in. Talk about a tough turnaround. I
Oh my
mean,
gosh,
good gracious, we've been talking about it all
travel
year.
time alone. That's like
Absurd. Yeah, that
mm,
we have to have one of the toughest Big 12 schedules of anyone because of how it's set up. We talked about you played Houston to start, okay, fine, but then you had to go at Austin, at Waco against two really good teams. Come back, you get 2 home games, yay. Then let's go play the 2 best teams of the Big 12. And no disrespect to Texas, in my opinion, BYU and TCU were the best 2 teams. Very different styles of play,
yes.
but the best 2 teams that we've played all year, and you had to play them in a 3-day span.
Good luck.
Traveling to Utah and back on
Traveling.
one of those.
Yes.
So only thing that would have made it more absurd is if they had put us at BYU at TCU. So shout out
That's
Big
true.
12 for not doing that, I guess.
Okay, thanks for the
Yeah, thanks for
little
that.
crumbs. Yeah, an absolute grueling part of the schedule. And Tom Stone talked about it too. Like he just, wow, like this is what we have to do. And I mean, this goes back to this what we describe this team to be and relentless, and they're facing this adversity. I mean, they're facing it with that scheduling lineup. You have to go to BYU and like compete in that environment and then have TCU at home on a Sunday when rest is so crucial. But this TCU game was just that. It was like grueling. Like we're getting
they're
through
such a
it.
tough team.
We're getting through it.
I really hate those frog lizards, but as far as the soccer team and the players go, they're always tough. They're probably the only team this year, in particular, I would say, is as tough as us physically. Like they play, and they're small. They're small players. They're not very big players, but they're scrappy little ones out there, and they're really really good on the ball. Like I hadn't seen them play a lot this
Very
year,
quick to the ball.
but they're just really good. Which maybe because there's these lower us. What's called center of gravity on most of them out there. You know, they're just doing the things. I don't know, but they really they controlled the possession at times in this game. But I think you saw our mental toughness and our communication come through again. Is we'll talk about the moments, but ultimately we win that game 1-0.
We did
1-0, 1-0. What do you call it? 1-0. And we were able to get our chances through. Like when they messed up and we got the ball, they broke because they're not as strong mentally.
Shattered.
When we made a mistake and they got the ball and tried to
we
break
were ready.
through,
Our
back line's like, okay, bet.
Okay,
cool.
What's next?
So that's what we're talking about when this team, they just don't quit. And even us, we're like, man, is this going to be a 0-0 draw? And we're like, no, of course not. Of course not.
Of course not. Because why?
Why do I even doubt them at this point? They're always going to find a way. Why do I keep doubting it? You know what I mean? Like they just do.
Yeah, and that's what we saw. This was such a fun game. I was able to be at that one, luckily. Huge crowd, over 1,500 people were there. We had the Matadors there, so shout out to the Matadors, the Lubbock men's professional team. So this was a really great game for everybody to show up, and we did that. And we could feel it. The energy was there. The battle of the top 2 teams in the Big 12. Like what we talked about, and we didn't score until the 72nd minute, and with Alex Kerr, because of course it's Alex Her.
Alex Her.
And
with the name legally.
We should do that. We should tell her about that. With an assist by Caitlin Giametta. And I looked it up, Shelby. The first time that we mentioned Caitlin Giametta was on 420. And then you made a funny joke. And then I was like, oh, I get the joke. And then I was like, wow, I'm ancient. It's okay. But anyway, we've been talking about Caitlin Giametta since like almost a year ago. And it's been so cool to see her. Like she's had a really great couple of games. And you'll see this perfect assist that she has because of our defense.
She puts the pressure on, gets it from that girl. She's there.
Great settle, great pass, and then trusts Alex Kerr to take care of business. And she did. Yeah.
Wow. As soon as that ball hit Alex Kerr's feet, I was like standing up. I was like, we're going to score.
We're good.
We're getting the winner. Like there is nobody else. And that's no disrespect to anybody else on this team. No disrespect. There's multiple other people that could probably finish that goal. But if I had to choose who, it's Alex Kerr. She is so calm in those moments. Yeah. Like I would love to study this girl's heart line
Oh my
in
gosh.
pressure moment. From a sports psychology perspective, aces. She's just built different.
Aces. Did Caitlin Giametta nutmeg that defender?
Oh, I don't
Did
know
I
about that,
just
but we
see
just
that?
keep nutmegging people
When
all
it-
the time.
When it runs back again, I think I maybe saw that. I don't know. So she settles it here.
I think it was right outside her foot.
Oh,
We'll see on the replay.
Anyway, regardless, this is such a great showcase of Giametta with that quick settle and the quick, like the defensive pressure from Kylie Barr to first start that pass. And to see Giametta settle that and get it right to Alex Kerr, it was just, we just knew, everybody knew in that stadium. We were all just like you, Shelby, standing up. We were like, Alex Kerr has it. We're about to put this in the back of the net.
At her feet. So
yeah,
just
business as usual.
Business as usual. And you just love that about this team. They just find a way, and TCU is hacking. We get that one still credit to Bridget on air. She literally says about 30 seconds before this play happens, would really love to see Texas Tech pressure up a little bit here to try to force this keeper into doing something. And then sure enough, she couldn't hold it. She passes it over, and you saw what happened on the goal. And it literally right after she says that, it's amazing. It's like she's a coach or something. She would get this goal. So, and we were calling for Giametta all game. Listen, we're not a coach, but we're like, where's Giametta? Where's Giametta? And then she gets in the game and she does that. So we're here for it.
Oh, good job, Giametta. Sure. Caitlin. Yeah,
she could be getting some more playing time too. That's the other thing that with the Macy thing is like this team doesn't really play like pure positions. So when we say there's not a 1-for-1 like replacement for someone like her, talent-wise, of course not, but also just the way this team plays, there's a lot of different pieces that can contribute to pick up the slack, if you want to call it, pick up what we're losing, 11 assists and her goals and her leadership and all that. But the leadership at least can still be there from the sidelines. But it could be a number of players just because of the way we play. Even Story is a quote-unquote forward, but her best moments this year have all been from the outside.
Right.
BYU game. She was the one that started the pass to Elise that got over to Sam. BYU game, that second one from the outside. So there's a lot of people that could maybe step up and we talked about at the beginning, but Giametta could be getting some more run too. So yeah, I'm excited to see how Thursday goes for sure.
I know. Yeah. Which
I guess next up in this game, I have one moment from this game we'll talk about at the end that I just thought it's a typical Shelby notices weird things thing, but I was really impressed by it. But from an actual athleticism and soccer part of the game, Madison White is a god.
Yes.
Trouble off the cross.
Holy goodness.
Cleared out. Madison White may have saved the game.
The replays are even more ridiculous. And then she just gets up and is just like, do this like unconcerned.
Able
the replay's so
to
good.
Shot is
around
magical.
Kylie Barr and Madison White getting a touch on that.
Wait till you see the back view.
White wouldn't have touched that ball. That would have definitely been a goal for TCU.
6
I'm
minutes
chilling.
left, and
physically understand. Like
I'm chilling. Madison White's back. I'm chilling.
I'm chilling. Like unconcerned. Like
dude, Madison, you were so good at this game. Great job.
She's those type of shots she has every time. The goals that have been scored this year have had to be some sort of combination play where she gets pulled away and can't get there. Those type of shots, she has a moment to react.
Yep.
Done. Like, and that is not even a moment to react because she was already stepping the other way, ready for her to pass it over. And she had to, you can see it on her face. Like, she's like talking to someone. And then when the ball goes in the air, I think it's the back view that shows it. Look, she's like pointing out, like, "Hey, you get this girl." Oh shoot! Oh no!
Wow!
Here comes the crap!
You know
here
what?
We go. Let me just get back here and get that myself.
I bet Southwest Airlines is gonna take that as like the Maddie direction for.
No, it needs to be the new logo. I think I'm gonna post something tomorrow.
All right, cool. That's a good idea.
Where we like take the
here, but I need you here.
And put it on our uniforms.
Okay, I'm glad we hashed out that business meeting is done. I mean, another clean sheet for Madison White. She had another huge save in the first 10 minutes. So like she's working and she's earning these clean sheets like we continue to talk about. And she is a generational player. She's greatness right before our eyes.
And she gets better. I think Tom said it too. but she really does get better the crazier the game gets. I don't know his
he
exact
did
words,
say
but
that,
that would
yeah.
be my way to put it. Is it just seems like even in that BYU game, the frenzy, you're like, this is wild, but you can. It's like she likes it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's ready. In this game, TCU at this point's down, and they're doing everything they can to get a draw and to get this thing tied up. There's like 4 minutes left in the game, and they're taking wild shot after wild shot. They had like 2 or 3 corners in this whole scrum, I would call it that, and they're taking chance after chance after chance. And I think that's also right after Macy went down, which is impressive as well. And we're still like fighting them off. And yeah, she's absurd. We say it every time, appreciate her for hopefully a lot more games we have the rest of this year with her, but she will be playing in professional soccer somewhere next year for sure.
Yeah, if she wants to, she can.
I'm
she
pretty
can
sure
do whatever
she wants
to.
We talked to her about that in our interview. We'll watch it plug. But yeah,
and I think cool. At the last clip that we have here before we move on to our next sports, but you heard this, I think, when you were watching the game.
I heard it live. That's why I went back and clipped it.
Okay.
But y'all,
we were at the game. You were listening, and you texted me about it, I think. And Tom Stone talked about like setting Sam up to like just listen to the clip. I think we just listened to the clip.
Well, I think we need to give you some so you know what to listen for. But to me, yeah, Sam Courtwright's in this clip. She's amazing as always. But this clip is about Tom Stone's coaching ability.
It is so
sweet. I'll turn it up as high as I can, but you need to listen to it. And maybe we'll post the clip later too. But you can hear him say, and this is not an edited clip either. It's a full back-to-back possession clip. And in this first possession, you'll hear Sam will do it. We'll just let you watch that first part.
Since the Baylor game on the road.
So the Sam Courtwright has the ball. She passes it there.
Oh, yeah.
You can see she had a lot of space to do something tricky. She could have gone, do what she does there. She didn't. She passed it, trying to be a good teammate, whatever. We'll turn this up. Whatever. When you're saying Courtwright, there's other ways to be a good teammate.
Correct. Yeah, we know.
You'll hear Tom say his first thing here. Just listen. It says, you have so much more to offer there, Sam. You can do it. You can
do it.
It gets better. But that's the first thing he said. So great encouragement. He knows his player. It continues on.
There she is, hoping to get involved on the offense. Here comes TCU.
The ball's going to get cleared in a second. And then you'll hear him again here.
Way too far out in front.
That's this line I texted.
You. Go ahead.
That's the line I texted Sivy. I was like, you've got to know what I just heard Tom Stone said. Because he gets it and he says, you have so much more to do there. We trust you. Go ahead. And then that line is the one that took me out. He says, do what you want to do, Sam.
Imagine, Shelby, that you're playing on the undefeated Texas Tech D1 Red Raiders, and you have a coach that's yelling at you saying, do what you want to do, Sam.
Do what you can do. We know you're better than that.
We trust
do what you want to do. We trust you.
Oh,
and why is that so important? Watch this. This is not a clipped. This is not 2 clips. This is literally the next play.
Madison White with the deke on the throw.
Gets it to Sam's feet at some point. Sam's going to get the ball. She's over here, right there. Running around like crazy.
Sam has the ball. There first.
Does she pass it? No, let's just get between 3 people.
Courtwright.
Up. Oh, jukety juke.
Again.
Courtwright.
And that ball would have bent in the goal. They didn't have the replay on this end, but they had it later in the game. They showed the behind or something. But this ball is bending in, and that keeper, who's a really good keeper, not the best in the conference because we know who that is, but she's a great keeper, and she has to make that save. And that whole clip is so impressive to me. It tells you everything about our coaching staff. It tells you what you have about Tom Stone. And Sam Courtwright's an amazing player, yes, but that's the stuff that we're gonna need moving forward because he's gonna have to squeeze that orange, as you like me saying last week. You got to squeeze the orange of the talent now, and Sam Courtwright has that talent. And when I heard that live, that's the stuff I absolutely go crazy for, because that stuff matters. Coaching matters. The mental game matters. That's coaching and the mental game all in one. He gave her that confidence mid-game. It's like, okay, bet I can do what I want to do. I'm going to go do what I want to do. And the only thing that would have made that clip better is if she had scored in against a lot of keepers, she would have.
Right. That's perfectly said. No notes. It was so impressive to see.
Yeah.
And he talked about how she's composed and that, she sets people up to be successful. Like we saw, right? Like she's trying to make those passes, trying to get those connections to her teammates. And she does in some important times, but it's really cool to see, okay, like we trust you, Sam. We'll see you on the other side. Like,
do what you want to do, Sam.
Do what you want to do, and then
gets me
she
every
goes
time.
off and has something like this. So I can't wait until it comes up for her. But yeah, that's such a cool clip, and I love that Tom Stone is leading in that way because I'm sure you have too, have heard how coaches can talk to their players, and it's just like, yikes, like
Yikes.
why would you say anything like that when you have the opportunity to say, we trust you, like, do what you want to do. And what she wants to do is that. And if you're going to get shots on goal like that, there's no better way for the athlete, for the coach. I really hope that's all like true as we always do. But like, just what a special experience. And that's a really cool clip, Shelby. I'm glad that you picked that out because I can't hear him. I'm usually assuming he's yelling at the ref. but no, he was actually being like, talking to those players, and he trusts them a lot too. So it's really cool to see where he chooses to speak.
I don't understand how he has his vocal cords got to be elite level.
Yeah, dude.
He's always yelling. He definitely yells at the refs.
The dirt.
But he's always yelling at the players' instructions. And that was just, that was a special coaching moment. So Tom Stone
really
appreciation post. This is it was amazing. And maybe we'll post that so other people can see it because I just thought it was really cool and really cool moment for Sam as well to take that instruction right away and say, bet, okay, I'll do what I do.
Yeah, watch this. Can't wait. She's so cool. And we stumbled on like some of her old material when we were getting ready for this episode of we can't wait. There's going to be a really cool story. Like there's going to be movies made about Sam Courtright.
Wow. Big talk.
She's already got the acting
what movie
down.
That's going to be? When we go and win the national championship, even after losing one of our best players mid-season. That's going to be quite the movie right there.
And Macy's going to go up to Sam Courtright and say like, do this and think about
this.
And
she's going to be like, this girl's doing this. I've seen this girl doing this. You can totally take her and she's going to get it.
She takes the corner kick. Hannah Anderson, back of the net.
Yeah, like right after Macy's like, hey, send this to this side because this girl's doing that. Just like this.
Wow. Okay, we need to stop.
Script it.
Coaching. We need to stop doing what we're doing, okay? Because other people are going to listen.
Teams know the game plan.
How dare us?
Okay. No, they're in the midst of a special season. Next up, we got. I don't know if you have any other thoughts on this before this, but next up we got another one. We talked about this stretch before the season, going to be really tough. UCF isn't ranked anymore, but that's because they play in the Big 12, and it's tough life out here. It's not an easy. That's why it's so ridiculously impressive that we're undefeated in the Big 12 because it just got even tougher this season, and we're still finding our way through it. They're a good team. They have, I think their keeper was the reason Madison was not preseason all Big 12. Which obviously was a mistake, but doesn't take away from the fact this girl's probably pretty good. But
she is.
Yeah, and so
and UCF has had and some impressive performances through their season so far. Like they played two of the current top 5 teams with Penn State and Florida State and held their own. So I don't think we don't sleep on the Knights. I mean, like we are undefeated, and with that great power comes great responsibility or whatever. And we don't want that to be a game where we're sleeping on the Knights. So I'm not anticipating that. We know our team. We know that is not in their vocabulary. And I think we go down there and we take care of business. And I think what I really want to see from this match is knowing that we have this injury with Macy Blackburn, like maybe this is the time that we take what we learned from BYU, from TCU, and with the time that we had without Macy towards that TCU match and apply it to this match and see like what works and how we can adjust and what we can make better. And that's the only thing that's a little bit of a worry, but we've talked about it this whole season. They've been preparing for this. They haven't had to have that drop. So I don't know, dude. I think it's a win. They're going to take care of business meeting, shades on, we out.
Yeah, it's business trip. That's what we also love
business trip.
that shows you they're locked in. That's how they were talking about BYU too. So just another chance for them to check off another mental box. People are going to be doubting them now that they lose someone of Blackburn's caliber. Say, okay, yeah, she's great. We got other people that are good too. They're going to step up and do what they do. But I am glad they have some games here to work out the new lineups and all that before we get to postseason.
And then the last thing I'll say, shout out to those who came out to the tailgate for the home game. After UCF, the last home game for Tech Soccer, the last guaranteed time you're going to see them at home is October 15th. That's a Sunday, 1 p.m. We're doing it all again. Run it back. And yeah, shout out to Cassie too for coming. Leslie coming, groovy. That was awesome. So let's show out for their last home game on the 15th.
Yeah, for sure. Their last regular season home game. We're going to speak that into existence. We should finish out this season strong and get to host.
Oh,
But that could be a really fun Saturday if things go well on Thursday. They could maybe good old clinch the Big 12 and win a Big 12 title in front of their home fans would be pretty special. So there's 3 games left in the regular season. We have UCF Thursday, like Sibby said, Oklahoma State, who's another tough team that we previewed this stretch of 4 teams in a row. They were all top 30 teams metric-wise. And we have 2 more this week, UCF and Oklahoma State. And then you finish your regular season on the road at Iowa State. But hopefully we can lock things up before that, and that can just be like a fun trip and let some other people play and do whatever you want to do there. But we'll see. Soccer is soccer. It's going to be fun to watch them. Soccer is soccer. My analysis is that,
a great philosopher once said,
soccer is soccer.
And soccer is soccer.
Yeah. Stay behind this team. We love them. Our confidence is as high as ever. Still, we know the team is too. They got the people to do it. If anyone can make this adjustment midseason, it's a team with this much leadership and mental toughness and skill, quite frankly. So I'm excited to see kind of a new look on Thursday and let them do what they do. A new, but not that new look. It'll just be new people.
Right. Totally. That makes sense. Yeah. So, let's show out. But let's shift into gears. I love that we are talking like for over almost an hour about soccer. But
every week
these are times I never thought would exist in our friendship, and this is so good. And I love that we're talking about it. But let's talk about volleyball. So volleyball had a couple of games since the last time that we talked. They lost to a very impressive UCF, 3 sets, and then again the same results, 3 sets. We lost to a number 25 Iowa State, and so I mean it's some of the same things that we've been talking about with errors and service errors and things like that. But what I loved about this both of these games with UCF and Iowa State is that we've sometimes been like waiting until the 3rd set, and that seems to be like when we start kicking into gear. And this team, I don't know if you noticed this as much as I did, or like how like hype I was about it, but I just saw them click a lot faster. Like right from the jump, we were like in it, and it was like, oh, great! This is such a great momentum shift than what we have seen in the past. To kind of we're hitting the ground running instead of waiting until the 3rd set before we start. Like, okay, now we're cooking.
Yeah, it was definitely their best start in Big 12 play, I think. I mean, they obviously beat number 17 Kansas back to start Big 12 play, but they didn't start that game well. They lost 3 sets in a row, right? They did the reverse, or 2 sets in a row. They did the reverse sweep. So they played, they had every chance to win that 1st set, and that is growth. And that's what you're looking for. Celebrate the moments, celebrate the things you can. And this team is getting better. I think they have a little bit of a break now, right? Are they off this week, if I remember right? So hopefully they can continue to grow. But you saw some moments. Obviously, our seniors do what our seniors do. They're steady players out there. But the freshmen really, it seems like when we're really doing well, it's when these freshmen have really good games and can kind of complement the seniors. And man, just all of them. Like Reagan was just doing, I think she had like 8 kills with no errors at one point in this game match, whatever it's called.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes.
I'll try to find the video because we don't have it on here, but there's a video this team put out today, I believe, or yesterday. so we didn't have time to put it in here. She hit a career best 667 with 9 kills against Iowa State this week. She leads Tech hitters in hitting percentage and totals 7 matches with a 350 clip or better. She's a freshman.
Dude. Like she has had such an incredible career so far, and then especially what I've saw from UCF and Iowa State is just like having some really significant kills, really significant plays, and her power. And I reposted that clip, I think, of what you're talking about, of what some of the other accounts have posted, and it's just her like with some bunnies, like she's up and then slamming that ball. The
1 foot kill is a Reagan Engler special. She's going to be fun to watch for the next 4 years, 3.5 years now.
That's the number one. But yeah, I love seeing that improvement. Hansen continuing to be such a just impressive player. And then your usual suspects with like Dugan continuing to bring the heat. Reese Rhodes, I love watching her and how she reads the game and manages the game smart. In that perspective. She's really knowledgeable of the game. And then 2 players that like caught my eye. Well, I have a few here, but Simone Overbeck, like she's been getting some time too. It was cool to see her. Haven't seen much of her this season, but she made some pretty impressive plays. And then our girl Curry, she got into the game, brought some hype, and then I think she either had an ace or like she did some type of game change, point. Yeah. And she was like, "Let's go!" And I was like, "That's
the
her.
energy
like,
we need."
We know her from like when we interviewed her. That is what we wanted to see, and so I loved watching her. And then Courtney O'Brien, dude, like she's starting to heat up too.
She doesn't act like a freshman either. She's a good little server. She has quite a few aces on the season. Plays with her sister. I believe Maddie O'Brien has finally gotten back. She played some of this match as well, which is good to see her get back out there. But her little sister, Courtney O'Brien, man,
I know.
I'm very impressed, and I think they list her as a libero / something else. So, like obviously Correa is playing that position right now as the elder statesman, so to speak, but she's going to probably be a really good one. Libero, she's quick out there, and you see her on the back line even when Correa's in the game as well, and she's just digging out balls. So she's going to be a good little player. We say it every week, but the freshmen on this team are really, really fun to watch, and you have Bryn as a sophomore. There's stuff to build on for sure, but the season's not over. They have quite a few games left in Big 12 play, and they're right there. But that's what every team says. Like, you know what I mean? Like the margin for error at the Power 5 level is not very big, right? There's really talented teams, but everyone else in the middle is kind of just it's a point here or there. It's, you know what I mean? And it's they're so close, especially Iowa State. It was like 25-23 in that first set, I think. Like, they're right there, and you win that set. I think they've lost now 10 or 11 matches in a row where they've lost that first set. If they could just win that first set, mentally, it would change a lot of things. So they almost got it against, it was top 25 team. So that's the Big 12. The schedule doesn't really get easier. But they're right there. It's just you hate it for them that they can't break through, you know?
I know.
They'll get back on track, we hope, once they get back from their little break.
Yeah. I just looked up their schedule. They actually play in a few days at BYU.
Oh, they do? Okay, good.
Yeah, they play number 9 BYU. So
that's right. They just had a week off because they played so quick last week.
You're not wrong, but
they didn't have a weekend game.
Right. But that'll be good. They play on the Friday the 13th. So spooky vibes, baby. Let's get it going. Go up there and
upset BYU, but that's cool for them. That's just like soccer. BYU, all respect to their fans because they support every single team on campus well, and that'll be a fun environment for volleyball. So I'll definitely be tuning into that one.
Yeah,
let's go up there and really make BYU fans hate Texas Tech.
I think
do it to their soccer team, do it to their volleyball team. We'll do it to their football team next week, I think, or 2 weeks from now when we play them.
I agree. And I think they're totally capable, like you said, like winning that first set, and we're getting there. Like, that is what we saw in these past 2 games, is like we're getting there. So I'm anticipating good things. We got 2 against Baylor, so it's not like, we're playing a different team. But yeah, Baylor twice. Twice as nice.
Is it Baylor or is it BYU?
Sorry, BYU. Dang
Oh,
it.
I was like, wait a
Sorry,
second,
I was thinking
what?
about freaking football. I was
Oh, yeah, I got
segueing to
you.
football already.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Yeah, number 9 BYU. They're very good at
Oh
volleyball.
God.
BYU is a national power in volleyball. That's what they're similar to that in soccer. That's what I was saying. We'll go up there. It would be a big upset, but why not? Weird things happen on Friday the 13th.
We've
Let's
done
do
it.
it. Let's steal one of those.
Yeah.
Let's steal one of those. We're behind
Anyway,
you. We'll be tweeting about you.
we got it. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, now
on
I
to
guess we can talk about
football.
Baylor.
Yeah, I guess we can
We
talk
have
about
to.
Baylor. Yeah, they did the dang thing. I
They
mean,
did the dang thing, dude.
they went out
said,
there.
okay.
All this for the brand we've been hearing.
Were you expecting this? Like,
I
did you
thought we could win, but utter domination.
dude, we freaking
No, I did
was
not
like,
expect that after the season we've had. To be fair, and Baylor, like,
Sorry.
you know, that's where Joey McGuire comes from. That's where they had that same mindset. Toughest team wins. You just don't see it, but it's fitting because Baylor came into our house last year and did the same thing to us.
That's
They
true.
demolished us.
Mhm.
And so the players remembered that, and we just went out and ran the ball.
Ran
Through
the
them,
dang
over them,
ball.
around them, over them, through them. Let me say it again. Embarrass them running the ball. Like we just would run it for 4 plays straight, 5 plays
Dude,
straight. Todd
why
just like
not?
unfazed, just kept running over him. Let's bring somebody else in. Xavier White, he'll
I-
run him over. Cameron Valdez, he'll run him over. Let's let Baron Morton get a touchdown run in. Everybody was running them over. And Taj Brooks actually became the first Texas Tech player in over 20 years to get 100 yards rushing in 4 straight games.
No way.
I mean, we don't run the ball.
No, I know, but that
still.
is such a fun stat. Wait, how many years? 20?
They said over 20 is what they said on the broadcast.
We have been who we have been for as long as we have been who we have been.
It's been a bit, but yeah, I
amazing.
appreciate that Kitley's like just seeing it. You know,
Okay,
he's like, this is our team
he's
this
got
year.
it.
Run the ball. Our offensive line has struggled at times to pass block, but they're very good run blockers. We have a great running back, an NFL running back. Let's let him cook, you know? And we'll see if he can keep doing that. Baylor's run defense is like last in the Big 12. So you kind of had to do that against them. You know what I mean? Like if you don't run against them, that's like coaching malpractice level of decisions. And so it made sense. We come out in that game and we ran it like 4 or 5 straight times, like down the field. And you're going to have to do that again. Well, you're going to try to do that again next week when K-State, who plays very similar to you. I think I saw in the analytics, they run the ball really well like we do, and they stop the run really well like we do. So
cool. So we'll just we'll be at the 50-yard line the whole time.
This game might be over in like an hour and a half. Everyone's just going to be running it. The clock's going to be running. Like, no, I'm kidding. Usually when that happens, those games turn into something you don't expect, right? I worry a little bit about their quarterback running on us because that seems to always be something that happens when we play K-State. Their quarterback, no matter who it is, insert ex-quarterback. It's Will Howard now, but every single year, I swear we give up 100 yards rushing to the K-State quarterback. It's just like a given. I don't understand it. It's maybe I'm just having PTSD from my days as a student, but that's what it feels like every time we play them. So it's a night game. Be there. It's a blackout. Those are always fun.
Y'all,
it's homecoming. It's homecoming.
Oh my gosh.
It's sold out. Everyone's wearing black. It's nighttime.
There are really great like they do at homecoming, like the little paintings. Y'all, the High Riders have the 1993 national team like recognition.
Garlic,
so
swoops.
I went and saw there's one on Broadway and there's another one I think in the sub, but obviously you have to get into the sub. But a really cool time. It's gonna be
I
fun.
didn't really get into homecoming a lot when I was in school, but I wish I had like cared about it more. I just didn't have a lot of friends in that life. But I always appreciated like looking at all the stuff before the games and all that. But I didn't really get into like the
I think I was the same way. Did you ever go to the bonfire thing?
I did all that. Was that for homecoming? I didn't know what that was for. I just thought it was a bonfire over here. I'm an idiot. I went to that.
Oh, cool. I don't know if it's for homecoming. Damn.
It probably was. That makes sense. But there was one every year over there by the circle, by the like volleyball pits, by the rec, right?
Yes. Yeah.
When's
the last time you've been on campus?
On campus. Jeez. I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a while.
Okay.
I feel like I've probably been to. It's been a while. I was there probably about 4 years ago for a football game. I don't remember who was playing, but we got our butts kicked. So
I need y'all to type in the chat like the letter S for Shelby come to Chimmy's immediately, and then we can show you what all has changed.
Oh yeah, no, Lubbock
but we'll
in general.
start there.
Every time I come back, I'm like, I loved Lubbock when I was there, but my goodness, you have nothing to complain about now, students. You got like the Topgolf or the knockoff Topgolf, whatever it's called. You have all those different things. And we had like Broadway, and that was enough for me. I'm a simple person. I was like, this is great. I go to sporting events. We got Broadway. We can just walk up and down this to the 3 places. This is hype. Now they have so many options. I don't know what to do.
How dare you? You didn't include Whataburger into that.
And I just heard they just put in a really new performing arts center because I had friends that couldn't go to the soccer game because Lion King is in town.
Yeah, Buddy Holly
Lion King. Like, just impressed, Lubbock. Shout out. But yeah, back to sports. Football, great. Steve Linton, man, stand up, sir. Breakout game. Wow. Barron, I've seen so much growth from Barron Morton. I'm proud of the guy. He's a gunslinger. He had an interception this game that was very Barron Morton, where he threw it up and gave his guy a chance, and the other team won. But he's shown so much growth where he's just taking what's there, and his back shoulder throws are money. Like, this man can throw some great back shoulder throws. They're so impressive. So I hope he continues that. We'll need more of that as the season goes, but he still hasn't been practicing in full. So I think he'll just keep getting better. I heard he practiced, like, he was 50-50 in practice this week. So I think that's from a shoulder thing. So they're trying to keep it from getting fatigued. And as the season goes and that heals up more and more, he's just going to keep getting better. But I've been impressed. He's not like blowing anyone away, but he's not turning the ball over to high clip.
Exactly.
He's taking care of the ball. He's letting our offense run. He's making the throws when he needs to. And he's making some special throws when he needs to as well. So bravo to him doing what he's doing.
Totally agree. That's what we needed. And now that he can gain his confidence in that way and continue to like grow, I think it's so helpful. It's so relieving to know that like he can take care of business. And that's what he has been doing when he's been put into such a really tough situation.
I agree. So, yeah. Also, some confidence that we saw was we interviewed Riley McKinney.
Yes, we did.
Sunday, I guess that was a few days ago. And you're going to be hearing that interview tomorrow afternoon, evening. It'll come out on YouTube. Check it out, and she'll get you excited for the season. The Sawyer interview is really good, and that gets you excited. You can tell Riley McKinney has stepped into a leadership role on this team, the way she's talking. We talked about Hannah Anderson being a great leader. I mean, I need to see it on the court for Riley, but she was talking the talk in this interview and hyping up her teammates. And just wait until you hear what she says in the rapid fire teammate name say something segment about Bailey Mop and mic drop moment, as well as the rest of her teammates. Literal mic drop. Sibby left the studio, walked out on us.
I had to leave.
If I wasn't strapped in to everything, I would have been gone. I was deceased. It was great. You'll see that moment. It comes out tomorrow, but they're still, I know everyone heard about the injury news with that team as well, and that's a bummer, but they're still as confident as ever. And we do ask her about the rankings. The rankings came out this week where they were picked 10th in the conference or something silly. I would have been like, I get it if you put us 7th or 8th, but 10th? Like 10th. TCU ahead of us? Like, I get they got a new coach. They brought some people, but the disrespect.
That don't mean nothing. Yeah.
Like, the disrespect was outrageous. So, fine. Let them sleep. But we ask her that question, and it'll fire you up as well. So
it is. It's good.
It's a great interview, and we'll have that coming out tomorrow.
We got that dropping tomorrow. But yeah, we got a lot to look forward to. A lot of like we're I think halfway through football, more than halfway through with regular season soccer. So hang on tight. And then we got basketball that's coming up in less than 30 days. So if you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed. It's free for y'all to do. It really helps us a bunch, and we're hoping to continue to do what we do and making it better, and y'all are a contributor to that. So thanks for hanging out in the chat. And
is it Mazos? They commented on Twitter.
Oh, what'd they say?
We love the fact that you spend an hour talking about soccer too.
Let's go. It's a community service. I'm gonna write that in my community service. Shout out to them. And show up to these home games. We got some ones coming up, and then we're moving on to the next sport. So that's all I got, Shelby.
That's all I got. It was another great episode. Keep the vibes high. Texas Tech Soccer, number 6 in the nation, y'all. Big time stuff. Watch them on Thursday. Hopefully get another win and get even that much closer to a Big 12 championship. Sounds like volleyball's got a chance to upset a big team on Friday, and then we all know football blackout at home on Saturday night. So until, I guess we'll finish it out with that. Until next time, y'all, as we finish every episode, Wreck 'em.